good.
Okay, we're rolling. Hey friends, Eric Hood and Andy Burdick. We're here in downtown Zenda, and we're just unpacking after the MC National Championship just held up at Lake Pewaukee at the Pewaukee Yacht Club. It was unbelievable. We had 93 boats. We had Kim and Torben Tornell, part of our class. They were fantastic regatta chairs, and they had a team of 55 volunteers. We got all 7 races in. It was really exciting. The first 5 were medium heavy. Most of the time, people that had crews took crews, and there were a few people who didn't need crews. We'll talk a little bit about that, but so many of you have been writing in and calling to both Andy, myself, Jimmy Glick about, hey, what happened at the MC Nationals? Great write-up on the class website that you can see. Put some gold nuggets in there and some comments and some race results and stuff. So always default to mcscout.org or melgus.com to get full information. But let's get right to the national champ, our 12-time national champ, Andy Burdick. It's pretty amazing, 12 national championships, Andy. And I just want to read something to you here real quick. 3, 3, 1, 2, 2 for your medium heavy races, those first 5 races, then a 13, 13 in the light races, which were challenging. It's pretty amazing. Your competitors right behind you. Folks, for those of you that were not there, there were 5 boats that really kind of sailed out in front of everybody. It was fun to watch from my 12th spot. Mark Teaser in the first 5 medium heavy races really sailed well. It really looked like it was going to be a dogfight between just Andy and Mark. But things changed. The regatta changes. We got to 2 lighter races towards the end, and it really flipped the scores around. Bill Draheim from Rush Creek Yacht Club, our current Masters National Champion, fantastic addition to our class. Really sailed consistent. He finished 2nd, a bunch of top 10 finishes. Frank Regg, our youth champion, finished 3rd. This guy won a race. It's really exciting to see young talent coming on strong. And then Dan Fink, who did so much to make all this happen for us. All of you that were there, tireless worker. Dan went out and won the first and the last race, one in medium heavy, and one in very light. So good job to Dano on that. But those 5 sailors were out there. Andy, I want to flip it over to you so the people can hear from you. I think probably the neatest thing, I've watched you, we've been together for almost 30 years as friends and teammates and sailors in the class, but you're sailing with your son, Finn. How old is Finn?
He's 9.
9 years old, and
yeah.
You guys just actually won the Sea Scout National Championship a couple weeks ago. But just tell me, tell the group here a little bit. What's it like sailing with your son? Why is it important? What's the conversation like? I'm sure it's quite different than what it was with older teammates of yours that have been successful with you, Peter Keck, Justin Hood, others, Vince Porter, who were older when they sailed with you. Now you have a 9-year-old. What's that like?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It keeps the sailing light. The atmosphere is light in the sense that we're just out having a good time. You know, when I sail with my daughter Maya and Finn on the Seaboat, it's the same thing. We just want to go out and have fun. We want to learn as we go. It's refreshed my attitude for the sport because now I have even more desire to go out and practice, to go out and sail with other members from the fleet, to get tuned up and get the kids tuned up in a sense too, so that they're prepared for all those regatta situations that we face. So it's been a learning process. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I don't use Finn unless it's windy on the MC, but like you said, we had some really good races with breeze. So he had the opportunity to go and help out.
Yeah, it was fun. You know, there was one race I remember in particular, y'all. Peter Strothman, new addition to our class, which is fantastic, had his 7-year-old son. And I'm in about 4th, and I think Andy's 5th right on my transom, and right next to us in 6th is Peter Strothman. And Finn and Peter's son were going right at it, having a conversation, talking about who's going to beat who, and it was just exciting. But I think more and more we've seen this family aspect come back into the class, and it's so refreshing. It's not kill, win. It's go out and be with the people you want to be with, sail fast, have fun. The beauty of the MC is that you can do it. You can add a little extra weight and still be extremely competitive.
Yeah, the MC allows you to sail with 2 people if you want, and that's what's great about the boat. You can sail single-handed, or you can go sail with 2.
Yeah.
And heck, I even sailed the regatta with 3 once.
That's right, at White Lake. I clearly remember it. I was winning a race there. I don't normally do that too often in a national championship, but I had one in the bag. But a boat was hunting me down, and I looked back, and I saw 3 people on the boat. And it was, at that time, I think Finn was 6, and Maya would have been about 8. Yeah, so fun stuff. Hey, let's move on to the racing, Andy. In my report, you know, I wrote down a couple things I thought were critical to success at this challenging regatta at Pewaukee. They're all challenging when you have 93 boats, but you know, a great start. Well, it's not necessarily a great start. I put in there that you had to have a great lane. Those first couple of minutes are so important. I put clear air, an obvious one, dark water, more pressure, more horsepower, and then direction to the mark. So that's what I wrote, but I'm just, you know, I'm just kind of sailing well. I'm not sailing great. Andy, what are you know, the comments that were coming from the crowd were, Andy was just kind of like in 15th, and then he made 1 tack, and he was in 7th. He made another tack, he was in 2nd. And it happened race after race after race. You had a calmness and a smoothness about you that obviously you have a very high priority on some thought process. Can you share a little bit about your first beats and how you get up to that top mark in the top 3?
Sure. With 93 boats, you have a big starting line. So my big concern right away is don't leverage yourself out too much to one side and be overcommitted. With how shifty it was on Pewaukee, even in the breeze, I knew that starting in the middle in a conservative spot would allow me to see which side looked good up the first beat. My goal was to be in the top 20 at the top mark. If I was in the top 20 at the top mark, I felt comfortable that I could get a good score on my scorecard. I didn't want to be on one end of the line and end up with a 40th or a 50th, which can happen in that fleet because there's so many boats and so many good sailors. So first it was a conservative approach at the starting line. So I would determine which end of the line was favored. I would then split the course in half, looking at it, and determine which side of the course seemed to have better velocity inside the 3-minute sequence. And then I would kind of determine my game plan as to being in that area. But the most important thing, like you said, was maybe I wasn't in the top group up the first beat, and then I would get there eventually. It was just sailing the angles. You had to sail the lift. If you were complacent or you didn't have the sense of urgency to tack and get clear air and sail the lift at the same time, then you were losing ground.
Yeah, so let's break that down just a second. Complacency, you're talking like 5-10 seconds. If you're 30 seconds, 45 seconds thinking about whether you're on a header or lift or there's pressure or no pressure, that's a little too late, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the sense of urgency goes from on the boat perspective. When I get headed, the first thing I do is look up the lake and say, where's the wind, okay? If I see wind ahead, immediately, I'll sail the header for a little bit. If I don't see wind ahead and I see wind to the other side of me, I'll tack and sail the lift right away. Some important things there. 1, you have to have your head out of the boat and looking up the lake. 2, you have to have great boat handling, because the sense of urgency comes in that if you need to tack and you're in a tight spot with other boats, you need to be able to duck and maneuver around the group that's near you. So the game plan is one thing, but boat handling is the #1 thing in the MC for me.
I would agree. I had 4 top 10s and 3 dingers, real dingers. The one race where I led at a mark was my absolute worst start. And to Andy's point, I have good boat handling, and I did some real tight ducks, but I did it with speed, and it's back to boat handling. So boat handling is a big deal. I think the gold nugget I just picked up was, you know, I've had a mindset of just being in the top 10. Andy's like, I just want to be in the top group because it's the first leg of a 5-leg course. So that's some great wisdom. Well, thanks, Andy. You know, Andy and I both want to share with you that, here we are on July 1st, and we have a really exciting summer in front of us. We have the Inland Yachting Association Championships at Lake Geneva with the new Buddy Melga Sailing Center. We'll get to celebrate the legend and everything that we've all enjoyed our whole lives because of Buddy and his father, and and what they delivered to us as scow builders and teachers. So that's going to be a big celebration at the end of August. 5 days of racing. I think it's the 24th through the 28th, thereabouts. ILYA.org. We also have the Masters Nationals down at a fun spot. I've sailed there. It's a great spot. Privateer Yacht Club in Chattanooga on the river. Just a little bit of current. It's seriously, it's not a bad deal. It's a wide spot. It's a beautiful spot. They're really big on having fun there. That's going to be a great regatta. That's at the end of September. And then, hey, let's look to next year, because there's something very special that's going to happen. We're going to have the MC National Championship at Crystal Lake, Michigan. One of the prettiest, nicest lakes in our entire world, and we're excited about that. And in closing, Andy and I want to thank you all. We love this class. We do a lot of teaching. We want to help you. Please email us or call us anytime. Real simple on our emails, just Andy@melgus.com, Eric@melgus.com, Jimmy Glick, Jim@melgus.com, and of course Harry Melgus, Harry@melgus.com. We're here to serve you, to make your sailing experience better.
For sure.
Yeah. Thanks, gang.
Thank you.
Bye.